Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Elias managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's actually defending the Look, the thing is...
Oh, no, why? Come on! Come on! Where has that come from?
Yeah.
They brought through the door. You know, look at the...
What a performance, the guys...
That was ruled off. Quite stupid things like that.
Live from Style Space at the Supporters Club. Right.
But he was getting a bit tired, I thought.
Come on! There we go! Come on!
Come on! Yeah! Go!
Good morning and welcome back to West Ham Irons United. Of course, my name is Anton and we are back with our transfer shows. We've been doing these for a couple of seasons. We've been bringing you as much news as we possibly can with players that are potentially going to be leaving the club, potentially players that are going to be joining the club. We take a look into their history and potentially what they could bring to the club. We don't for 1 second believe we are an ITK. We have no interest in being an ITK, if I'm being brutally honest with you, but what we want to do is have a look and see about some of the rumours that are kicking about and just to see if there's any kind of truth in them, and also just bring you some more information on particular players, etc., and have a look and see if there's any substance in a lot of the rumours that are actually out there. So without further ado, we may as well get carried on because, as you are aware, we're now on the 7th of January and the transfer merry-go-round at West Ham is in full swing. I have skipped the queue and I am at front of the queue getting ready to get on this roller coaster because, strap in guys, we are about to hit a roller coaster. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up and keep the comments coming in. But first up guys, first up for yous this morning is Sebastian Haller. He's reportedly closing in on a move to join Ajax this month in a deal that could see West Ham rake in about £22 million, not euros, pounds, for his signature. He's 26 years old, as you know, and it's, you could say he's had a difficult spell at West Ham, joining the club for an enormous fee of £45 million in the summer of 2018 after he starred for Eintracht Frankfurt. Haller has since failed to make the right impression, to be honest. And of course, Mikel Antonio remains his first choice ahead of the two-time Ivory Coast international man Sebastian Haller. Last night, the French newspaper L'Equipe said that Ajax are in talks and are set to complete a move for the striker, a deal that's believed to be on the verge of completion at around, like I said, half the figure that we initially shelled out. Now let's take a look at the rumour here. So this rumour came out late last night and it was kind of under the radar. It's all been a bit hush-hush. But what we're going to do is try and look and see if there's anything within this rumour. Now, we are led to believe that we know that West Ham have been interested in potentially selling Sebastian Haller. There's been a few clubs, particularly in the German league, that are interested in Sebastian Haller. But Ajax kind of came underneath the radar. Now, one thing to look at is the current manager at Ajax. His name is Erik ten Hag. What do we know about him? Well, he actually managed Sebastian Haller at Utrecht when he played for them in the 2016-17 season. So he knows him really well and he plays to Sebastian Haller's style, with the wide men providing opportunities. Feed Haller and he will score. A little bit like what we always say on this show: if you play to his strengths, you'll probably get goals. And during his time in couple of seasons in the Dutch league, Sebastian Haller actually got over 40 goals in over 80 appearances with them. So he does know the Dutch league really well. And as I've said, Ajax currently play to Haller's strengths, very similar style to the way that Haller played while he was with Frankfurt, alongside Rebic and Jovic, in that kind of three-strong attack. And what is kind of frustrating is the fact that we do know that we've got players there that could potentially work in that system, but we do know that it's going to be a system that's not going to be played at West Ham, especially now that we've had plenty of time under Moyes to see his style of play and what he wants to bring to West Ham. He looks for the hard-working striker, and we've had playmakers, we've got players that can play it wide, we've got players that can create within the middle of the park, but he doesn't favour that, and he looks for the hard-working striker, hence the reason he always favours Antonio and doesn't favour Sebastian Haller. When it comes to this, I kind of feel like I'm being defeated when I say what I'm about to say, but I mean, there literally is no point in the guy's career or the guy Sebastian Haller staying at West Ham. It doesn't look like anytime soon we're going to be trying to play to his strengths. He's had a run in the team recently, again not playing to his strengths. We've had players sitting on the bench who could maybe offer a bit of creativity, and he plays off of that really, really, really well. The coincidental thing is he's got 7 goals this season, 3 in the Premier League and 4 in the League Cup. So the best performances we saw for him this season were in the League Cup, when he was being supported, albeit yes, it was against lower league position, but he had creativity. He had Anderson, Diangana, and he had Lanzini all firing on all cylinders, and like we have all said from the start, feeding the striker, and that's what he'll do. He'll score goals, and I genuinely believe it, and I don't want to see Haller go. I really genuinely don't, because I still think there's something there. Listen, I don't for one second doubt that he is an extremely talented striker, and I would not doubt for one second that if he signs for any other club, quite possibly, and in particular Erik van Tag's Ajax, that he'll go and bang in goals. But he'll go and bang in goals because they will play to his strength. It's as simple as that. So I do think that there's harsh criticism a lot on Sebastian Haller's time at West Ham, and it's understandable. It's frustrating. It is frustrating, but I'm more frustrated at the style of play, because I do think there's a transition there that we could make, and we could have different formations and under different strikers. And right now, my only concern, even though things are positive, is we rely heavily on one player up top, and we can't rely on that, and that's why I think potentially we're going to push through and go and get the Josh King signature, because he plays to the Moyes style of play. He plays out wide, he plays up top, he covers a lot of ground where Sebastian Haller doesn't. So keep your comments coming in and let me know, and we'll quickly jump through some of the comments actually, and see what everyone's saying before we move on to the next one. Mark Gallagher, thank you mate, hope you're well, good morning to you. Bradster, morning. Mark, everyone's saying good morning to each other. Peter, thank you very much for tuning in from South Australia and Adelaide. Still saying Haller confirmed that he's going to Ajax. That's still in the know, but yeah, I think we can put 2 and 2 together still and work it out. So let's see what we're saying here. T, you're saying yes, finally the statue is leaving. I think it's pretty harsh. It's your opinion. I allow it. Obviously I allow it, but your own opinion. My opinion is that it's just not working to the West Ham system, and it's really, really frustrating. Mark Alexander, Haller Ajax, is there a swap deal in for Lassina Traore? No, we don't believe that there potentially is a deal. We think, what we do know is that Ajax are trying to get the deal done very, very quickly. They want the deal done very early doors. They want to do it very quickly, and it looks like there's probably negotiations taking place. Whether it's going to be for the fee that's been announced, I'm not so sure if West Ham will accept such a massive hit on that fee, although I do think that there is some form of communication between the two clubs, and this is now back to the negotiation to see if they can move forward with that. Great if Haller can leave to a club where he can be happy. Yep, absolutely true, mate, to be honest. T, desperately need some backup central defensive midfielder. So give me a few more minutes and we'll come on to that actually, because you can probably see by the thumbnail I'm going to talk about a player soon. Mark Alexander, I just read somewhere that there's some interest in him from us, so just put 2 and 2 together. And they've never been good at math though. That's true, mate. That is true. I'd love to see Ten Hag at West Ham, Foshizi. Yeah, he does look like a manager that would absolutely change the whole philosophy of West Ham and any footballing side, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's a manager that many clubs are looking at, but he's doing well at Ajax right now, so I can't really see that, to be honest. I did say still Haller would go in January. Moyes doesn't want him. Kent Hammers, I think you're going to come in and say what I say. I like Haller, good player, not played right. The only way I'd sell him is if all the money is used to bring in players. So if Seb goes, we need two strikers, and if Snoddy goes, we need 2 midfielders. Foshizi, the return of Snake Arnautovic, don't know, we'll see. Be an interesting one. If Haller goes, we need 2 strikers, not a single replacement. Benjamin, I will watch this later on today and tomorrow morning or the afternoon. Okay, no worries, mate. Thank you. Infinite. Hope all these rumours about Arnautovic are rubbish too. We'll come on to that, and there's going to be a show later on that I think Stell's doing. It's going to be a transfer gift to the Gab show later on, so make sure you keep your eye on the channel for that as well. T. Hilaire was never a West Ham 2021 player. He screams 2016 West Ham London. We moved on from players like that. Very hard to keep a striker fit if you want him week in and week out when you want them to work their arse off. So, yeah, we'll see. Fushizi, I'm happy for Hilaire. He's going to smash it at Ajax. And to be honest, I don't for 1 second doubt that he will smash it because, like I've said, they will play to his style. Look at the amount of goals he's got in his previous career and time in the Dutch league. I mean, you could have a look at Hilaire's stats when he was with West Ham in total. So he's got, in the Premier League, 48 appearances, 10 goals. He's only got 1 assist. He's had 9 big chances missed. I wonder if half, or if not 3/4 of them chances had gone in, would things be different? He's had 81 shots at goal, only 38 are on target. So, that's a player that's just not been played into his style of play. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. I do think, though, it'll be disappointing, to be brutally honest with you. I'm disappointed that it's not worked out for him because I was really excited about the signing of Sebastian Haller to West Ham. But it's not turned into anything, so we will see what's going to happen with this one. So keep an eye on this one. I think I could see this one growing arms and legs, and I can see Sebastian Haller eventually turning out in an Ajax strip. Anyway, let's move on to the other news that came out yesterday, which was the news that Robert Snodgrass is potentially in strong negotiations with West Bromwich Albion. The 33-year-old Scotland international is out of contract in the summer, but is looking for West Brom to take over his current deal with the option of a further year. West Ham would then allow him to leave on a free and keep West Brom's other domestic loan slot open. That's the wrong picture. So yes, with the potential permanent signing of Snoddy, it would also leave Allardyce's remaining loan slot available for another signing this window. Tell me your opinion on the fact that we think Snoddy's going to go. Snoddy came out last night on Twitter and actually replied to a fan with a few emojis and saying this is definitely not what I wanted to see right now, when a fan was wishing him goodbye. So it was more or less him kind of stating that he is on his way out of the club. So let me know your thoughts. He signed for West Ham in January 2017 under previous manager, as we know, Slaven Bilic. And his career has kind of started off all right at West Ham. It took a few ups and downs. It was, we'll talk about it in a minute. So back in the 2016-17 season, he made 15 appearances. The following season, he was spoken about a lot by the board, which wasn't great, to be honest. And then he went off to Aston Villa and he had a fantastic season in the Championship, playing over 43 games, scoring 7 goals with 14 assists. He came back to West Ham and he fought for his opportunity at the club, and fair play to him. Not many other players would do that, especially after the way that he was mistreated, and he absolutely was mistreated by the West Ham board during that time. And he played 33 times, scoring 2 goals with 5 assists, and followed into last season with 5 goals and 5 assists, and already this season he's got 2 or 3 goals I think he's got under his belt so far this season. But what do you think? I mean, he is 33 years old. We're not going to get a fee for him, but I do think it's probably time for Snoddy to move on. I mean, I am disappointed. I think he's played really, really well for the club. He's wore his heart on the sleeve, and he can see that he is passionate about what he's done. He's got a great career over several clubs between Hull and Leeds, and of course now at West Ham. And he'll always go down as one of those players that gave everything for West Ham, and I think he'll be massively respected through his time. But I think going to West Brom when they're in the problem that they are, the situation that they are in the league, I can see this being potentially a good move for Snoddy if he gets a potential 2-year deal out there that takes him through to his 35th birthday, and then depends on what he's going to do from there. But yeah, I'm disappointed. We'll have a look at the comments and see what everyone else is saying here about other comments. Loads of people here not actually mentioning. Let's see, Snoddy, let me see. Here we go. Snoddy going, I keep banging on about Norges Buendina. Arsenal want him, but apparently they can't afford the 12 million. I know, but I don't think we should take anything just for Sebastian Haller if he is going to go. to be honest. Let's have a look here. No to Josh King. We'll talk about that. Probably not in this show because we spoke a lot about him, to be honest. Crazy call. I don't want Anton back. I mean Arnie. Easy mistake to make. Shadez. I really don't want him to leave. I don't know if you're talking about Snoddy or Haller. I think Snoddy's a good player to have in and around the squad. He brings... he probably's got an aura of just like he walks into a room and he probably takes a room. He's a confident guy and he's very good to have within a squad. He's obviously got really good mates in Mark Noble and Aaron Creswell because you see them a lot in training together. So I think we'll miss that connection between all the players. And I think that's the kind of, it's not the worst decision for him to go. Infinite Life. Gonzo did video this morning about some Sparta striker, 18 years old, big, strong, like Moyes, Adam Holzik, I think his name was. To be honest, mate, I think Agent Potato Salad Suchek has been working his magic. To be honest, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're linked to the whole of the squad from Slavia Prague. In actual fact, let's do a video on Slavia Prague's team. Maybe that's what we should do and bring them all those potential links to you. Mark Alexander, don't think Snoddy is much of a loss. Bring in one of the youth Coventry. Thanks for the service, but bye. I get it. I don't think he is much of a loss, to be honest. But when you look at his stats in his career at West Ham and the fact that he came back from those comments made by the board to do what he's done and wear the heart on his sleeve, and he looks like he genuinely cares about West Ham, then that will obviously be sad to go. Ian Cook said, I'll be sad to see Snoddy go. He's been a great servant to the club. We'll miss his free kick accuracy and assists. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. There's more comments coming here and it's skipped. Sell Snoddy for 59p, save 500k in wages. Foshizi saying, if Moyes allows Haller to leave, West Ham need to sign King, left back, left wing back and centre midfielder this window. A marquee striker such as Sima in the summer would be great. No disrespect, but Infinite is saying to Snoddy, but his time is up. Brian Story Smith, great guy, don't understand why he'd want to go to West Bromwich Albion. To be honest, mate, you're 33, you're not playing in the Premier League just now, you're kind of not getting a chance to shine, and you're going to go to a club that are potentially struggling and potentially be the saviour of that club. And I'm not trying to say that saviour's probably a big comment, but someone just mentioned there his free kick accuracy and his crossing and his ability to get assists could totally change the dynamics of West Brom's season. And you know what, typical, if he does go, we've got them coming up and you can potentially see what happens there. Fushizi, selling Snodgrass is the right decision. There's no room for sentiments in football, barring Mark Noble. I think the thing about the Snodgrass deal is we'll get no money for it, so he'll just be cleared off the books. I think the deal is looking like they're trying to take over his last 6 months with an extension option. So it makes total sense. I heard Snoddy Noble had a race with this one, of course. Relevant Alf, hope you're well. Can't help feeling this is a mistake selling Snoddy and Haller. No need to sell them now. Wait until the summer if need to. Should be adding to squad, not selling. Can't compete with Snoddy's work ethic. Do you know what? And that's something we're definitely going to miss. His work ethic is huge, absolutely. But I don't think if West Ham are potentially looking at selling Haller and Snoddy that we're not going to be bringing people in, because we are thin in our squad and this is going to take it to the next level of thinness. Where are we here? Where are we? Oh, sorry, I got that wrong there. I said there, Foshizi, Holzik plays for Sparta Prague, not Slavia, Anton. No, that's right, but the whole point is he plays in the same league, and Suchek works his magic out there, so we'll see. Ken, we'll come on to the final comment before we move on to the next player. With Snoddy going, we are now 2 midfielders short, so I'm not sure whether it's a fantastic decision unless you get 2 players in. I think it all depends. I don't for 1 second, and I totally have to believe that we are working our magic to try and bring a player in. I do believe that Josh King will be coming into the club, and it's just whether or not we'll be going out to sign other players. We need to, because we've not got the strength and depth in the squad. And I know Moyes said recently when he looked at the bench, that's fine, but we are a couple of players, injuries away from having a potential disaster. So, yeah, it's not one to watch, but I do think Snoddy will be off ski, and it looks like he is going to West Brom under Sam Allardyce, and I think it's a good move for him, to be honest. But let's move on to the next player. The next player is Jean Ruckner Bellegarde. Previously played at RC Lens. He's renowned. They're renowned for their kind of quality in their training ground, which is amongst the best in France. The club's policy is focused on youth, and this allows all of their youngsters to start very early on the pitch. He arrived at Lens in 2013 and made his professional debut at the age of 18. Reputed to be a shy player, he was given the captain's role, yes, the captain's role at just 19 years old, so that the Franco-Haïtian could assert himself more on the pitch. His performances in League Two allowed him to join the French under-19 and French under-20 team in 2017. And he took an important step in his career in the summer of 2019 when he signed for RC Strasbourg for the sum of €2 million, where he discovered League One. And at the end of 2019, he got his first cap for the under-21 team. They used many different tactics that year at the club, alternating with 2 or 3 man midfields, depending on the opponent, and his desire to strengthen his midfield. Bellegarde has overall occupied 3 positions: right defensive midfielder, right centre midfielder, and defensive midfielder. So there we go, we're going to be talking about this position that people are thinking we need to strengthen, and he has rarely had the same partners at his side in the midfield. Bellegarde is a player with a lot of work rate and presence all over the field, the modern box-to-box midfielder who brings as much of the offensive as on the defensive side. So we're talking here about a potential player that can help the Declan Rice and Thomas Souček situation, because we are concerned that if any of these players get an injury, we don't have the strength and the depth and or a player that can potentially cover it. So let's see if Bellegarde can be that guy. He makes good forward runs. One of the most striking things about watching him is his play, is his ability to cross between the lines with his runs. He loves to get into open spaces left by the opposition block. He drives the ball very well and quickly. He's a dynamic player with good balance, which allows him to totally dominate that midfield area. He's also got good acceleration and takes a lot of speed very, very quickly. He's got a small size, which makes him very mobile, and he can find the space well between the lines. He's got very, very, very good ball protection. And he knows how to use his small frame and the low centre of gravity to protect the ball. He uses his body to keep his opponent at a distance. There's a kind of comparison here, you could say, to the Kanté style of player. Now, I know Kanté's in and out of the Chelsea team just now, and Chelsea aren't playing fantastically well, but Kanté on his day was the box-to-box midfielder who knew how to use his body, the low centre of gravity, to be able to protect the ball, and this Bellegarde could be the option that we're actually talking about. He averages 1.4 dribbles per game, and his dribbling success rate is 65%. He's fantastic in one-on-one situations, and easily manages to eliminate his opponent thanks to his speed, his short dribbling skills, and his close ball control. With or without the ball, Bellegarde likes to make himself available and bring presence to the open areas. He always attacks the space left empty by the opponent and positions himself in between the lines. It becomes an interesting passing solution also for his partners as he attracts the opposing players into him and creates space for his teammates. Last year was it was kind of a complicated season under at RC Lens before finishing the season very well. He only started though 13 times, scoring 5 goals. So that's quite a good comeback. You've got to think of the Thomas Souček, getting forward, getting some goals, but also protecting alongside Declan Rice. Alongside that, though, when he was a first-team regular at Lens, he usually was the most advanced midfielder and was often seen supporting the forwards, again, very similar to Thomas Souček. He's being less present in the finishing area as of late, but it also allows him to develop other aspects of his game, particularly his passing skills. That was one of his weak points when he was at his previous club. His big work rate on the field and his big efforts certainly make him lose a little bit of lucidity. Even still at Strasbourg, he has a pass completion of 87%. With 78% of those passes he's made in the opposition half. So he's a forward-thinking player. And he is a clever footballer. I mean, he's got an offensive mindset. He tries as much as possible to progress with the ball. He takes a lot of risks, which sometimes does lead to ball losses, but that's the whole point of having that protection in the midfield. He gives rhythm to the Strasbourg game, the style of play. His vision of the game also allows him to quickly notice his teammates who are free and are in dangerous spaces. Bellegarde combines very well with his partners in small spaces thanks to his agility and his ability to stand out quickly. He's a very promising player. He's been selected for the French under-21 squad despite strong competition in the midfield. We know what the French national side have got right now in their ranks. His style of play fits perfectly into modern football. He has a big presence on the field, very comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's capable of creating uncertainty for the opponent with his runs or passes. He has a lot of areas for improvement, and there are several aspects of his game that need to be improved, but he still makes some bad choices, but needs to be a little bit more efficient. But he is only 21 years old, and he's been making steady progress since his arrival at Strasbourg. It's encouraging and very promising with a first year in League One. So with everything I've mentioned there, I mean, for me, we know we're struggling in that position, and we need to bring a player into that position to offer the protection. He's 21 years old. He offers an option off the bench. He gives us a bit of security if one of those players do take a knock and are suspended, and gives us another option as well off the bench. Eventually probably progressing to be a starter for the club, and it depends on the way that Moyes is going to set up. But I think this has got some arms and legs, to be honest, because we know that Moyes likes to go into the market and find a diamond. Do you want to say a diamond in the rough? Because it's not really a diamond in the rough, but a gem. And this player could really, really enhance West Ham squad. Would he enhance West Ham squad? Absolutely. French under-21 international, plying his trade. He's a captain's armband at the age of 19, so he's obviously a dominating midfielder who communicates really, really, really well. And I think this is one that I would like to see West Ham hopefully get over the line. I think we could get the deal done for quite a cheap deal, something similar to Thomas Suchek, if not. Actually, sorry, that's a complete and utter rubbish statement I just made there. Probably a lot cheaper than what we signed Thomas Suchek for. So let's see if this one grows arms and legs. I'm not too sure, but let's get into the comments and see what other people are saying here, and then we will go and head for the day. Crazy call. Anton doing rather well today. I've still been training him. This is not right. If only you knew. If only you knew. I'd have N'Golo Kante at West Ham all day. I just don't ever see that happening. I think he's a great player, and I think he probably works really, really well for... but I don't know if he would work at West Ham. And it's just typical West Ham. Kaiser Machine looks good. Another captain can only be good for the squad. Ironclad, it's okay quoting player stats, but remember Haller had great stats before he came to us. Ironclad, though, the point I try to make about this is we have to give you the stats because that's part and parcel of knowing about a player, what they've... But you have to build it all up, and of course I get your point, but you could probably sign some of the most prolific goal scorers to West Ham, not including the top 15 strikers in the world, moving Messi, Ronaldo, all that sort of stuff from the equation. But you could sign prolific goal scorers at West Ham, play them in the current setup that Haller's playing in, and I don't think many of them would get goals, to be honest, because they're getting absolutely no service. So you're relying on a striker to do all the hard work, hence the reason that Antonio works in our system. And I'm gutted that Haller doesn't work in our system, and I wish we would sometimes change the formation and change the tactical style of play to suit Haller, because I genuinely believe that we have players in there that could help his style of play, but we don't do it, and Moyes is not going to do it. And that's my only concern. I mean, listen, who am I? I'm Anton, sitting in a loft, giving you West Ham content daily, not a manager of a football club. And maybe they know more things that we don't know, but I can't help but think throughout Haller's full career, that he plays to a certain style and a certain management style. And if people play to his strengths and feed him, he will score goals. We can see that when that ball's put into the box, okay, he gets judged a lot when a couple of times he loses the ball, but he is an inconsistent team selector. He's not chosen week in and week out. The player's confidence is up 1 minute, down the next minute. And we've got a history of doing that with players. So this is not me totally tearing into West Ham and David Moyes. I'm just disappointed. That's the only way I could really explain it. I'm just absolutely disappointed. Still, he's been watching and learning crazy. Yep, absolutely, mate. Let's see here. What are the comments? Sorry. There's so many. I don't know how to. Do I want Arnie back? Jake Thomas Ring. Look at the Arnie situation. Look at the style of play. He is what's missing right now. Yes, he's a snake. Yes, he's not. He never left the club in good terms. I am definitely the sort of West Ham fan that absolutely would take Arnautovic back on the short-term deal to see if something could work, especially when the fans aren't in the stadium. If he comes back to the club and he starts banging in goals and West Ham are progressing as a club and a club and a club, I'm pretty adamant fans would start to forget. Shoot me down right now if you want, put in the comments, totally dig me out if you want, but it's my opinion. Do I see why Moyes was interested in him? Absolutely. You'd be absolutely silly to think. You don't need an ATK to say to you that Arnautovic would be on the tip of Moyes' tongue. Of course it would be. It's whether or not he fancies him and wants to bring him in, and the money and all that sort of stuff as well. So we'll see. Reese is saying 74 watching, 14 likes. What's going on, lads? Hit the thumbs up, please. Hit the thumbs up, lads. Although we are aware we're bringing you an early show as well. So yeah, no, that's really the comments. That's everyone just now. So thank you very much for joining us. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and keep the comments coming in. Tonight there is going to be a Gift of the Gab special show coming from Stell, and a few other guests are coming on. They're going to be talking a lot about some of the signings we're talking about today, some of the outgoings and incomings. It's going to be a big transfer kind of show, really, to start off the January transfer window, and we'll be back to you with regular transfer shows as well, discussing players potentially incoming and outgoing. So let's see what we can do. Keep the comments coming in. Let us know if you like the transfer show. We've been doing it for a few seasons. They're very successful, and yeah. Haller to Ajax, do I believe it? Yes. Will he go? Probably. For 22 million? Probably not. What will he go for? What will the West Ham accept? I don't know. Closer to 30 million, maybe they'll put some clauses in there. Maybe they'll accept 25 million up front. Maybe they'll accept the full money up front with a 5 million clause to get something back closer to that. Does that look a lot better than the 22 million pounds? Yes. Snodgrass to West Brom, do I believe it? Absolutely. Will he go? Yes. Is it a shame? Yes. Is it right time to go from West Ham? Absolutely. Is it a good move for him? I think it is. But he will be sadly missed. And Bellegarde from Strasbourg, will West Ham sign him? Probably not. Do I want West Ham to sign him? Absolutely. Is it a realistic rumour? Yes, but not sure if we'll get him, but we definitely need to strengthen in that area. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, keep the comments coming in. This is West Ham Irons United. Come on, you Irons.